Okay.
All right, now I'm just going to get Tony.
Very, very formal.
So hang on a second. I'm just going to grab Tony's email address here. So where do you live, Tony, out there
Well,
in UB?
on campus right now.
Are you
It's
in
a
one of their micro suites?
uh micro suites. It's like a studio on campus accommodation.
I hear you. All right, I've saved it. All right, so we're here today with Adam in Beijing,
Yeah.
Tony in British Columbia, in Vancouver at UBC, and I'm in Ottawa. And we were going to talk about Lasqueti Island in a minute, but I was hearing from Tony just before we started recording that he likes Vancouver, except it rains all the time. And
Probably.
just to make you feel better, Tony, my
Yeah.
wife and I, we have family in Australia. My oldest son and his family are in Australia, and we spent Christmas and about a month in Australia, and we were in southeast Queensland, which is like about 100 kilometers southwest of Brisbane. And talk about rain. It rained every 15 minutes.
All right.
Oh,
Great.
Every 15 minutes. And at one
where? Australia?
in Australia, southeast Queensland. So
Mm,
it's fairly far north. And so of course, as you
mm.
go further north in Australia, it gets hotter, right?
Okay.
It was
Queensland.
very hot and very wet. And
Mm-hmm.
and Tony, we hated the weather.
Uh,
It was worse than Vancouver. And just to make you feel better again, in 2.5 days, we got 3.71 meters of rain.
okay.
Oh,
3.71 meters, not centimeters, meters,
meters.
meters.
What that means?
It was incredible. Every road was flooded. The airport was flooded. I mean, you couldn't get in or out. It was really scary. People were dying.
Oh, oh.
So I definitely prefer BC.
Has
So
never.
so Adam, I
Right?
understand that you're interested in one of the sites that we have for sale on Lasqueti Island. Can you tell me
Mm-hmm.
what you want to do with it?
Yeah. We are new PR here. I want to buy a land for live at first. But I'm almost uh, 53 years old, so I want to buy a land to enjoy enjoy my life there. It's the first things, and then probably I, 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 I just want to know whether it can be used a camping site because I like camping very much. There is so many times for us. Mm,
And
we have bought a motorhome in Vancouver. Mm, and the third things, I was born and grow up beside a lake, a big lake in Hubei province, China. So I like water very much. Mm. And most things probably uh, last year that island is not far from Vancouver, and also its weather is good. I have been to Vancouver 3 times. The recently time is this January and February. So I hope I could have a chance to live around there. But the land in Vancouver and the land in Vancouver Island is very expensive. So I think the price is okay for me. But I also have many questions
Questions.
to
Yeah.
talk about to you. Uh, probably many things I can't explain clearly. So I invite my son here so we can talk about it.
So Tony, can you expand a little bit more? That was Adam, that was very good. And as I said before we got started, your English is much better than my Mandarin. So Tony, can you expand on what your dad just said?
Yeah, so actually he is thinking about yeah, maybe like developing the land, like both living and he's quite interested in camping, so he wanna just and also want to ask about whether like maybe so he has like a list of questions prepared for me. So like they want that we might want to go through, I think. Is that like is that like a good starting point to
That's an excellent starting point. So what I would like to do
yeah.
first is I have a few slides that I have
Okay.
prepared.
Yeah, sure.
With your permission, Tony, and also Adam, I will show my slides, which may answer some questions.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
after I show those slides, just a few,
Yeah.
just so you guys know, I'm a former university professor.
Mm-hmm.
So I taught.
Oh yeah. Well, colleague, I am also the professor of Chinese University here in Beijing.
Oh, very cool. Oh, that's really neat. So Adam,
I also have a PhD degree here.
well, I have a PhD as well in urban
Yeah. I noticed that.
in urban economics. So we have a
You can
lot.
shake hands.
Um,
Which university are you belong to?
so I got my PhD in urban economics from the Australian National University in Canberra. Canberra
Oh,
is the
Canberra.
capital
I know the capital.
of Australia, and then
Yes.
I did a master's degree in engineering science from the University of New South Wales in Sydney, and
Oh yeah.
I got my civil engineering degree from McGill University in Montreal.
Okay.
So I wasted a lot of my time, Tony, at university.
I
Um,
don't think so.
no, I loved every minute of it. I really did, and it's really helped me. But the reason I bring it up, Adam and Tony, is that as a professor, I could talk for 2 hours without taking a breath.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
And I promise not to do that today, okay? All right.
No problem.
All right. So hang on a second. I'm going to share my screen and just give me 1 minute here.
Okay.
So so what we're going to talk about today is I'm responsible for selling a number of sites on Lasqueti Island. It's called Lasqueti Island, and you'll see more about it. And the information that we're sharing today, it is confidential because the people who live on Lasqueti Island, it's a beautiful island. I love it there. But the people who live there, you know, would like to live in peace. And
Hey, excuse me, Bruce. Can I get the copy of
yes,
the
yes,
video? Okay, when we
after,
finish this.
yes,
Okay. Thank
after
you.
what I do is after we finish this, I will download the recording to my computer. I will
Okay.
upload it. Hang on. I will upload it to YouTube and I will
Yes.
share the link with you, Adam and Tony, so you can look at it 10 times if you want.
Okay. Thank you.
But it's unlisted. Tony, do you understand what I mean when I say it's unlisted?
Yeah.
So it's not, so Adam, it's not public, okay? This is private
Okay, no
information.
problem.
All
We'll
right.
keep
Obviously,
secret.
you could share it between the two of you. You could share it with your wife or your girlfriend. Tony, if you have a girlfriend, you can share it with your family, but
Yeah.
not don't put it on you know, one of the social, don't put it on TikTok.
Okay, I know the rules.
All right. All right. So I don't have to tell you that the Gulf is one of the most beautiful parts of the world. And one of the good news story here, Tony, is that Lasqueti Island is the warmest of all the Gulf islands, and and it does have rain, but nowhere near as much rain as Vancouver.
No,
This
no many
this
rains.
not as much as Vancouver. I mean,
Oh yeah.
there is a rainy season, Adam, but compared to Vancouver, it's quite benign. So this is Lasqueti. It is an island the size of Manhattan. So New York is the size of Manhattan, but only has about 700 or 800 people on it.
Oh,
So it's a big island as these things go, but it's very much an independent place for people who want to be independent and who enjoy the outdoors, who enjoy, a quiet life. This is the harbor. The harbor is called False Bay, and it's not much of a town. It has a hotel and pub here. Here's
oh,
the wharf here. It has a grocery store and a cafe here. You can get petrol, diesel, and propane here.
okay.
It's very small.
Mm.
Okay, the town is very small. It is served. The Lasqueti Island is served by a water taxi, and it also has a barge. So if you're moving big stuff over, like Adam, if you moved your motor home over to Lasqueti, it wouldn't go on the water taxi, it would go on the barge.
Okay.
A barge carries, trucks and cars and motorhomes. The water taxi is for people and bicycles.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I've been out there many times and I super enjoy it. Here is the cafe and the bakery and the grocery store. This is my wife actually walking over to the store, and my friend Michael. It's it's a beautiful island, but it's small. This is some pictures I took inside. This is kind of like I said, the grocery store, the bakery, the cafe. This is my friend Ruben and his wife, Mary Lou. And this is Michael and Mary Lou, Ruben, and my wife, Dawn. And so you can see it's got some development, but this is not a place. This is not like Shanghai.
No problem.
It's not like
Yeah.
Hong Kong, all right? So when you go there, I hope you'll really like it as much as we do. Here is just a little close-up shot of the hotel. Again, it's only got 7 or 8 rooms, and it's got a pub, and it's pretty quiet, but it's quite nice.
Yeah.
It does have petrol on the island, so you can get gas, you can get diesel, you can get hardware, you can get propane. So it has all kinds of services. So this is the site. This is me on the island. So this is me. Behind me, that's Ruben. And
I have this photo.
yeah, and this is me. I'm pointing at our site. So my wife and I, we own 2 sites, site 16 and site 6. This is site 16. And we call it Waterhole Ranch because we found this water hole on the property. So we just call
Can this water be drinking?
No, this is literally a water hole, and drinking water on Lasqueti is almost all rainwater collection and tanks. Right? So they have a rainy season, and you put a couple of water tanks and you capture the rainwater, and that's what you use for cooking and drinking. All right, but it's a beautiful little water hole, so we call it Waterhole Ranch. You can rename it, whatever something lucky for you. And so what Michael, who is the developer, did was he bought 170 acres, and he divided it up into 17 10-acre sites. 17 10-acre sites, and my wife and I bought 2, and that means there's 15 others. And to answer your question, Adam, if you follow me, each 10-acre site allows you to build 2 homes or 1 home and 6 camping sites. Right? So you could, if you wanted to, you could build 1 home and 6 camping sites. And this is
that should be a maximum. I don't need to
that's the maximum. Yes.
So many things.
Yeah. If you wanted to put 100 campsites here, no, you can't do that. But you can build 1 home and 6 camping sites. And I'll show you
1 camping site. Okay.
6 camping sites. And 1 home. That's
if I don't want to build a home, I can build 1 or 2 or until 6 camping site. I think enough.
I don't know. I never asked the question because most of the people I talk to, they would like to have a home and 6 camping sites. But if you don't build the home, can you build more camping sites? I don't know the answer to that question.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, I wish I did, but nobody's asked me that before. But here's the thing that I really like. No building permits are required.
What's
that means? So I can do it as I want. I imagine it.
Yeah, Tony, I'm gonna
Yeah.
Tony, I'm gonna explain it to you, and then maybe you could explain it to your dad. Do you speak Mandarin or Cantonese?
Mandarin.
All right.
Mandarin.
So I'm going to explain it to you, Tony,
Yeah.
and then maybe you could repeat it in Mandarin. So on Lasqueti Island, it is governed by the Islands Trust, and the Islands Trust limits the amount of development on each site to what you see on the screen here, but they don't want to take responsibility for building safety. So if you want to build a house or you want to build some camping sites, you go ahead and you just go and build them. And if they fall down, it's your fault.
Oh.
Okay. I think maybe he can understand. So you can just
Okay.
do like build whatever in whatever style and just contact whatever contractor to build it or do it yourself. But it's like nobody's responsibility or nobody's gonna take care of it. It's all on my own. It's all on our own, basically.
Just in this island or the other islands?
I think it's just this island, but again, I'm not sure. But I think it is just this island because the people on the Lasqueti, they're very independent. And they like the island just the way it is. So it's never going to look like downtown New York. It's never going to look like downtown Shanghai, right? It's going
Yeah,
to
I know.
think about it. 10 acres is a lot of land. This is a beautiful, beautiful island. It's got beautiful forests, huge trees on it. But they're limiting it, on 10 acres, 2 houses, or 1 house and 6 camping sites. That's very low density, right? And that's never going to change, I don't think.
Okay.
And so a lot of people will grow their own food on the island. Many people are using solar energy to power their developments, and they're using wood energy. They harvest a few trees and they use a lot of firewood. Now, the last paragraph here is important. Lasqueti is serviced by water taxi and barge services, but the residents have rejected all of the other services because they want to keep property taxes low. The property taxes on this collection, it's a co-op. The property taxes for the entire 170 acres, all 17 sites, is about $2,500 a year.
2,500.
And everybody pays 1/17 share. So property taxes are about $150 a year on each site. So not very much.
$150
a year, so
a year.
I don't know what they would be in Tony in Vancouver if you owned a house in Vancouver, but it'd be a lot more than $150 a year.
You mean the tax I should pay if I bought this a 10 acres property? So from every year, the totally tax I should pay is just $170 1 year.
150.
$150 a year.
Yeah, it's very low. It's
okay.
Yeah, so you were just mentioning, I think like there are like not many, like they turn down many services, but they like kept some. They still have 2 services or 1? Is that you were mentioning?
So in terms of services, they have, the hotel, the pub, they have Petrol, they have water taxi, they have the barge services, they maintain the roads, they have access to police services and health services in case there's an emergency. But but they don't have BC ferry services and they don't have BC hydro, and all of the roads are gravel roads because gravel is very inexpensive, relatively speaking, than say asphalt surfaces. So the entire island, all 700 people who live here, have decided to keep out many of the expensive services so that you're more independent, but also instead of property taxes being much higher, they're $150 a year.
Okay, so
Oh,
so that main road I'm seeing on Google Map is also a gravel road.
It's all gravel roads.
Oh, okay.
Right.
oh,
And now I have to tell you as well, Adam, that Lasqueti Island has the highest number of engineers
Hmm.
okay.
per capita of any part of British Columbia. Lots and lots of engineers like me and professors like you live on Lasqueti. And today, if you can see at the bottom of the screen here, most of them are using Elon Musk's Starlink internet.
Sterling, okay.
And now it's a little bit more expensive than if whatever, I don't know what Tony pays at BC. Do you know what would you pay a month for your internet, Tony?
I think it's included in the rent,
Yeah,
so
I
I don't
suspect
know.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so Elon Musk's Starlink is probably $120 a month. But if you're on the Lasqueti, you absolutely, that's an essential service because the internet, Starlink internet, I'm like an advertisement for Mr. Musk is very good.
Okay. 120 dollars a
Yeah,
month
yeah,
for
and
Starlink internet.
yeah, I think
But
that's essential.
access internet uh can do everything.
Yeah, I mean it's really really good internet, and you can check it out yourself. But all the engineers on Lasqueti, there's a few hundred of them, I think. They use Starlink internet to communicate. So with your phone,
Mhm.
WhatsApp, and of course, doing work like I do. I mean, I'm a professor and I'm a coach. I do some real estate investment and business coaching, and as long as I have internet like this and I can work from anywhere, including Lasqueti.
Mhm.
All right, so we're getting through it. Um, we on site 16, we have been doing some site prep. So on this particular site, Adam and Tony, we have been clearing an area for the first camping sites. All right, so we've
Mhm.
been doing that. My contractor's been busy doing that. You can see him at work here.
Okay.
These are just more photographs. So this is a typical road, just so you know, Adam, this is a typical road, access road on Lasqueti,
Uh-huh.
Again, we want to keep property taxes low, so we're not going to pave these. All right.
Okay.
And
Okay.
they're perfectly fine. You can use them summer and winter, all year round, but that's what we do. And every once in a while we have to go and grade them, but that's about it.
Mhm.
This is just more images of this is the stream that feeds the Waterhole, and these are just a little closer up view of some of the access roads. Now,
And the
so
left hand is a stream from Waterhole Ranch. Waterhole.
yes, this feeds the Waterhole.
Okay.
All right. And I'll show you on the next page one of the modular homes that one of my clients is thinking about putting on Lasqueti. So this is do you know what a modular home is, Adam?
Not really.
So a modular
Modular.
home is a factory built home that comes in a kit, a knockdown kit, and you
Oh,
contractor assemble it on site.
okay. Can easily try
It's easier to transport.
take one transport here and
Yeah,
make it
exactly.
together. Okay.
Yeah. So one of my clients was looking at putting this on Lasqueti because he wants a nice home on one of these sites. And this particular home is quite big. It's almost 3,000 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
It has a huge garage of 700 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not for everybody. Some people are like you, they want to do camping sites. Some people want to do bigger homes. And it's up to you, whatever you decide to do. And even if you just did the 6 camping sites, maybe in the future, I mean, Tony's a young person, maybe in the future he would like to have a bigger house.
Yes, probably.
So what you would
More
not do,
money.
yeah, he needs money though. But Tony, what you would not do here is you would not, in my opinion, you would not do a stick-built house. In other words, you wouldn't you'd bring in a kit and assemble it, you wouldn't build it from scratch, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think on the ski to be very practical. Now, this is interesting for you, I think, Adam. Another one of my clients is building these. He is buying these domes from a supplier on Salt Spring Island. These are beautiful domes. They're good in the summer and they're good in the winter, and they're humongous. I don't remember what the diameter is, but I think they're 14 feet high. And I don't remember exactly how wide they are, but they're humongous. So he's going to build a deck, and he's going to put two of these domes there, and he's going to have a gazebo in the middle, right? So this would be considered two tenting sites or two camping sites. So a lot of people, even younger people, Tony, don't really want to rough it anymore. They don't really want to be in a tent. So he was going to build 6 of these, right? So this is considered 2. So he would build 3 of these. So he'd have 6 in total. Just to give you an idea of what's possible.
Yes.
Each one of these domes costs about $15,000. And you bring them in as kits, and again you assemble them there. But they're good in the summer and they're good in the winter. They're insulated, and typically you would heat these with either a propane stove or a wood stove.
Okay.
Many people on Lasqueti, Adam, many people on Lasqueti, they drive Jeeps and trucks.
UTV, ATV, yeah.
But I think for many people, a smaller vehicle makes more sense. This is a Honda ATV. These are fantastic. If you had one of these on the ski, I bet you would last 40 years. You can carry lots of cargo. You can haul with it, and you can put people in here. I think you can get 5 passengers on this thing. So
do I need a license plate or insurance for this vehicle?
I don't, again, I don't know. I don't really know. On Lasqueti, I suspect there's many cars and trucks that haven't got licenses, but I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
I don't know. You might have to plate it, but that you would do that and you would plate it. But certainly if you're running it, I mean, this site, all of these sites, which you'll see on the next slide here. So this is the 170 acres. So there are you can see there's 17 sites, and the one that we're talking about is site 16. So it's this one here.
Okay.
All right. And if you had a Jeep or a truck or that ATV, you're about 7 minutes to the port. All right. So to the water, about 7 minutes away. And we selected Michael, who's the developer, and his wife Ellie, who did the original development. They selected sites that are at least 350 to 400 feet above sea level. And the reason they did that, Adam, is that Lasqueti Island is protected on the west by Vancouver Island, and in the east by the entire continent of the United States and Canada, and Mexico. And so Lasqueti is a very warm island, but it's protected from major weather events, tsunamis, global warming or whatever it might be. And we wanted something at least 350 feet or 400 feet above sea level. We wanted to be close to the water, but we didn't want to be on the water.
Okay.
All right, because, there are sometimes, things called tsunamis and earthquakes and other events. So this is something that we call Safe Island. That's a private name that we gave it. And the reason we call it Safe Island is that we believe that this is, if you look around the world today, there's a lot of unknowns, right? I don't have to tell you that. And so just so you know, it's not on the water. It's 6 or 7 minutes to the port. All right. So here is a map.
The number 16
This is number
is
16.
the target, is the
Yes, this
property
one here. Yep.
we talk about. Okay.
Site 16.
Yeah, I noticed you have two. You have two.
Yes, we have site 6 down here
I see.
and site
Okay.
16. 16 is a little higher elevation, and it is the better site for camping. Site 6 is the better one for like agriculture, right? So site 16 it's beautiful. It's got hills, it's got trees. It's
Okay.
the elevation is there. So if you're interested in a camping site, this is better. If you're interested,
how big of the
so
6?
each one is the same. Each one is 4 hectares, which is 10 acres.
10 acre. Okay, the same. Okay.
Yeah, they're all the same. Can you see? I don't know if you can see on the screen, but each one underneath.
Yeah, I can say it. I can say
4
it.
hectares. 4 hectares. So site 6, which we own as well, is 4 hectares. This one is also 4 hectares. They're all 4 hectares. That is the requirement.
Okay.
And Tony, 4 hectares and 10 acres are the same, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Where is this? Okay.
So
You are talking about it.
here is what's called False Bay, and that's where the hotel is. And the hotel I showed you, and the grocery store and the cafe is right in here. That's where the is. And then you go up here and around here, and you go down here, down Oben Road, and this is in red here, sort of right in the middle of the island, up high, away from the coast, is what we call SILA, SILA, Safe Island Land Alliance. That's where the 17 sites are located.
Oh, yes.
So it's right here. And
17.
you can see, because I know you like lakes, you can see there's a lake here, and there's another lake here, and of course there's the strait and the ocean over here. But there are lakes on Lasqueti all over the place, and of course you've got the harbor 6 or 7 minutes away. So this slide is
Where's your property there?
right in here.
16.
In
16.
Here. Yeah.
16 is the on top.
Yes. So we go back to this. So this square here is this square here.
Okay.
So
okay. 16.
site 16 is right here. So this is the legal description of the entire 170 acres. So that's the legal description. You don't need to note that down, but you'll get all of this information after our call is over. And here's where I put in for you, Tony, and for Adam. This was the property taxes. I think a year or two ago, it was just over 2,500 Canadian dollars for the 17 sites, so about $150 each per year. And this is my wife's share certificate for site 16. So if you decided, Adam, to purchase the site, you would own certificate number 16, which would entitle you to the use of site 16 for yourself and your family and your successors, heirs, and assigns. Right? So she would convey this share certificate to you. She owns it right now. She's my boss. I don't know if you have one of those, Tony, yet, but I have a boss, and that's called my wife.
So this ownership is permanent then?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You would own it. I just pulled this. So Adam, I just pulled this off the internet just to give you some comparison. My brother is a criminal law lawyer based in Victoria, and he and his wife own 90 acres on another island called Gabriola Island. Gabriola? Gabriola Island is better known than Lasqueti, and it's a bigger island and more developed. But just to give you some comparison, a small site of about 0.6 acres was available on Gabriola for $349,000. So to
Yeah.
buy 10 acres on Lasqueti for 225,000 Canadian dollars seemed like a pretty good deal to me. As I mentioned to you guys, you're going to have this slide deck and information so you can review it. But again, I'm going to ask you to keep it confidential because we just have 17 sites and we're going to create a beautiful community, and we just don't want this to, we just don't want to share it with the public. It's our private refuge.
Mm-hmm.
Tony, if you understand what I'm saying there. All right.
Yeah.
So I just wrote this morning for you. Lasqueti Island appeals to people who would like to acquire a peaceful retreat where they can be more independent and embrace a more sustainable lifestyle at lower cost. The co-op prefers a low-key, non-public facing profile, so we hoping to keep this information as confidential as possible within our families.
Mm-hmm.
The sites are at least 350 feet above sea level, about 7 minutes to the port, and protected to a very large degree from major events, whether it's weather events or perhaps man-made events, war, what have you. There are lots of services, as you heard me talk about. So water taxi, barge transportation, hotel, pub, grocery, cafe, year-round maintained gravel roads, internet, obviously through Elon Musk, gas, propane, and diesel, and police and emergency services are available on call.
Okay.
So if there's something goes wrong, you can ask for help if you need that. But it is a community.
What about clinic?
Yes, there are people on there are people on Lasqueti who are offering Airbnb. And so there are people who will manage Airbnbs for you if you wanted to do that. There are people who will help you with cleaning. I mean, yes, there are lots of people on Lasqueti who are handyman and contractors. And there you go. And of course, you got my contact information here. If you need anything, you know how to get in touch with me.
Okay, thank you so much.
So it didn't take too long.
No problem. Thank you very much. Very appreciated. I have some questions. I already gave it to my son. Tony can help me together to ask
Sure.
Bruce get more information from this island. Okay. I noticed you have mentioned this property is a permanent ownership. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so if I bought this, it belonged to me forever.
Well, you won't live forever, but Tony will own it, and your family will own it for many generations, I'm sure.
Okay, but I don't know the co-op means in the context. Co-op, it means the 17.
Yeah.
There's a big. That's
Yeah.
mean co.
So we have a co-op, and we own the 170 acres, right, together. And that's our community of 17 owners. And you would be one of the 17 owners, and the co-op will own and manage the cooperative. But the share certificate for 16 will entitle you and your family to use that 10 acres forever. Right, but the co-op is a way. There's many co-ops in British Columbia and elsewhere. There's lots in Quebec. I'm sure that they exist all throughout. I bet you there are co-ops in Hong Kong, Singapore, wherever the British have gone. It's an old British way of organizing real estate ownership, basically to hold real estate and to keep costs down and to control its development. In other words, we don't want, like I said earlier in this call, Adam, we don't want somebody to come and build a 30-story office building here. It's just it's not just the Islands Trust who wants to keep Lasqueti. It's also the co-op that we want to have. If somebody might have 2 houses, and they can be nice houses, that's fine, but we don't want it to be overdeveloped.
Okay. So, uh, is that means if I want to sell this property, should I uh, ask the other co-op persons, ask their opinion?
So in this case, you know, we have two sites, and my wife recently, unfortunately, has had some health issues. And as a result, she asked me to sell one of our two sites. We want to keep one of them that has site 6, which has more growing area because we have 5 kids and lots of grandchildren. But site 16, where Dawn and I, my wife Dawn and I, were going to you know, to develop. Because of her health situation, we're not able to continue. That's why it's for sale. But I didn't, I mean, I did notify the developer, Michael, and his wife, Ellie, that we are going to sell it. And we just offered it for sale. And that's how we come to be here.
You want to keep one of them?
We're going to keep one of them, I think. Yeah, we'd like to.
Okay.
6 is and because my oldest son, Andrew, who lives in Australia, by the way, with his family, he's
Okay.
very much into growing things. So he's been a chicken rancher for a while, and he grows fruits and vegetables and nuts. And you know, Lasqueti has great growing season. So we would prefer to keep site 6
Oh,
because it's got more flat land and it's better for growing things. But site 16, if especially for what you want to do, I think might be better.
okay. Can the property
If
be
you didn't
used?
like it, you can always sell it. You'll sell it to
Can the
somebody else.
property be used for commercial purpose?
Say that again, please.
Commercial purpose.
I'm not sure, Tony, if I understood that.
So he was asking if the property is strictly for residential purpose or it can be done for used for commercial purpose.
What kind of commercial purposes?
I have no idea. Just have a question.
So the commercial purposes that I think would be acceptable here, for example, would be if you wanted to put your camping sites on Airbnb.
Yeah, probably.
Airbnb is a permitted use.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I I make some camping site and rent it to
yeah. That you
somebody
can do.
come here.
In fact, and it's surprising to me, but in fact, they encourage that. They're very much in favor of that. They like the idea of short-term rentals and medium-term rentals. They do like that idea. So
Oh,
you could do that. There's one other thing that you might consider doing. I'm not saying you would do it, but the other thing that in terms of commercial uses, the other thing that you could consider doing is you could consider putting some small workshops on the site. That I think would be acceptable as well.
okay, workshop.
I'll show you. I've just built one for one of my daughters. I'll see if I can, hang on a second. I'll see if I can find pictures for you. Just give me 1 second.
Okay.
Just to show you what I did. I think you'll like it, but hang on a second. Here we are. I think I got it here.
这样他说是可以是吧？就是主要是用来作为这个营地或者是作为这个工作坊。
Airbnb 租赁。
OK.
See if I can find it here.
Okay, no problem. So it's your mean short-term rentals or medium-term rentals.
Yes, exactly. They actually quite like that. So let me show you what I just did. So this is one of my daughters. She has a workshop here. So this is a workshop. It's it's not big. It's 160 square feet, so about 15 square meters. And it has an overhead door, a man door, and a window. And believe it or not, this is a little tiny house, you know, about 40, 50 feet away, so probably about 15 meters away. So there's a little house here, and then there's the workshop here. And inside, she runs her own little business. You know, she has a clothing and fashion design business. This is the inside of the workshop.
Okay.
It's cute, huh?
Okay, very good.
And I'm going to show Tony, because he'll like this. I'll show you her website, Tony. She makes these beautiful clothes for women.
Oh,
You know, the reason I'm showing it to Tony is he's a young man, he might like this. You know, so she makes beautiful clothing for women of all sizes and shapes. It's all custom fit, and and there's her workshop. This is where she ships to China, believe it or not. Fashion, there's women in Shanghai and other places, they like nice clothes. So she ships to China, to Australia, to Germany, to the United States from this little workshop here in Ottawa.
very good.
So if you're thinking about commercial uses, I'm thinking small, not huge. So if you
your
want,
daughter now living here,
beg your pardon?
your daughter is now living here, living this island.
No, that's actually in rural part of Ottawa. So she's not far from me. I live in Ottawa, and that what I just showed you wasn't Lasqueti. That was here in Ottawa.
Oh, okay. I
But that's the kind
misunderstand.
of thing that if you're looking for commercial uses, that's the kind of thing I think on Lasqueti makes sense. Right, small. So you could have your tenting sites, your camping sites, like the domes that I showed you. But if you don't like the domes, you can find something else. But you could find, you know, you could have 6 of those domes, and you could have some workshops, which I think would be very cool. There's a lot of people your age, Tony, who have side hustles. I bet you have some friends at university who have some side hustles going.
OK，这样你帮我问问下面的问题吧。
Would I be right about that? Would you have some friends who have side
又
hustles?
阳了，嗓子不舒服。
Okay. Side hustles, maybe not like and not anything like this kind of small business, workshop stuff.
Well, Tony, I taught entrepreneurship, and many of my students have gone on to create, you know, really fantastic businesses. So I'm giving myself a pat on the back here.
Nice.
So Adam, have you got any more questions for me or Tony?
Yeah.
So I think
because I have some flu, so I want my son ask the questions. I have prepared for it.
yeah, so we have gone through the permanent ownership, and the co-op basically means just kind of this cooperative understanding, like this kind of hidden sort of connections between like property owners on the island that we agree to not overdevelop and just do very small change or just build very like small scale kind of properties on the island.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The idea is for each owner to really be very independent, but still be within a supportive community.
Yeah.
Like it's a wonderful thing to know your neighbors, in my opinion.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see. And yes, like and it's basically for residential use, but you can like a small scale commercial purposes is fine. Or yeah, I see. And short-term rental, midterm rentals. Oh, so yeah, there's a question about like the environmental assessments or studies conducted on the property. Is there like a environmental and assessment or wildlife impact assessments, that kind of thing, or anything similar to that? Like how is what's the environment like, basically?
Yeah. I'm actually checking my files now to see if there was one. I don't know the answer to that question. You know, this land has never been developed, and and so there's no, you know, I don't think there. I mean, there might have been an environmental study, Tony. I just don't know. I might have to find that out. But in terms of the requirements, if you needed access to that, and if there was a study, I'm sure I could find it for you. I'll get it from the developer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So what's the environment like? So is there any wildlife on the island?
Yes, in fact, there are wild sheep on the island,
Sheep. Uh-huh.
and
Where ship?
sheep. Yeah, they're sheep that are running around. They're wild,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And I think there are goats as well, but there are no bears.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
There are deer.
No big animal.
No, nothing. You know, if you, Tony, if you ever have children on the island, like 8, 9, 10-year-old children, they can run around this island. There's almost no crime. You know, very, very. I don't know of any crime on the island, and there are no predators. There's no animals that would be dangerous to you or your family.
Mm. Mm.
Mhm.
I've never heard of a sheep attacking somebody.
Yeah.
See. Okay. Uh, aside from
You,
that, there are just like so the annual cost is only the property tax. That's
Yes.
3 years, and maybe some other utilities like the Starlink web, like the
Yeah, you'd have to. I think everybody would need internet.
yeah. So like that's basically all the annual
Yeah.
fee
Yeah.
associated right there. Okay. Uh, so is there any kind of like infrastructure developments in there? I guess there would be not much that's ongoing.
Can
Like,
you ask that question again, Tony?
so is there any ongoing or planned infrastructure developments in the area that may affect the property? Like, I think there won't be like a lot of that's going on.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find some pictures of that's a really good question. I probably have some pictures of some of the neighbors. I should have put that in the slide deck. Let me just see if I can find them here. Yeah, maybe.
That's the total price of your price include the taxes?
Yes, because you're buying a share certificate, there's no land transfer tax, and I don't think there's any GST either. So it's just $225,000 Canadian dollars. I don't think
Okay.
you have to pay. And that's a great point. I should have put that in the slide deck too.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find some photos of what, because some of our neighbors are doing some really nice stuff, but I'm not sure if I have it here. Oh, rats. No, I don't think so. I can't believe I can't find these things. No, I can't, not easily, I can't find the other, but you know, Adam, all of the other site owners, they're doing the same sort of thing. They're putting up some of them do have workshops, by the way, right?
Mhm.
So they're putting up a house or a camping site or a couple of camping sites or up to 6 and a house. And some of them do have workshops, and somewhere on my computer, I have photos, but it would take too long to find them. But that's a good question.
Mhm.
Okay, so just some neighbors are
No
building.
problem. We can talk it
Yeah,
later.
yeah, yeah. But it's not you know 10 acres. Remember, Tony, 10 acres is big, so it's not like somebody's a construction site right next door to you in the city, right?
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Okay.
So listen, I'll tell you what, guys. I've really enjoyed meeting you, Adam. I mean it, and you too, Tony.
Thank
And I
you.
wish you all the best at UBC. Um, what I'll do is we're going to end the conversation now. I will upload this to YouTube and send you the link unlisted so you can look at it again.
Okay.
And if I'm sure Adam, if you and Tony will have more questions, you reach out to me and
Yeah.
I'll do my best to answer them. Okay?
All right. All right. Okay.
Uh, so can I email it my question to you and you
Sure.
can answer anytime.
Anytime, you know, and I know the time difference between here and Beijing is 12 hours, so I understand that.
No problem.
Okay, and you know, we had to pick a time, Tony, that would work for your dad. I didn't want to put it at noon because it would be too late for him. It'd be 11 o'clock in Beijing or whatever, or midnight, and it would be okay for you, but sorry to get you up so early.
That's all right. That's all right. That's fine.
All right, good to meet you guys.
All right.
And
Nice to
Adam,
meet you
anytime
too.
you have questions, just email them to me, okay?
No problem. Thank
All
you
right.
so much. And good
Anytime.
luck.
Thank you.
Thank you again.